I've owned several different Nokia phones in my life, from the Nokia 5110 being my first phone I ever had to the Nokia Lumia 1020 and 1520. So I'm happy that HMD Global brought the Nokia brand back. And this Nokia 7.2 is the first smartphone that I've tested since the resurrection. How about you guys just let me know what your all-time favorite Nokia phone was in the comments. This is Kevin from Peacock Inside Tech, and this is my Nokia 7.2 review. First of all, I want to thank Nokia Germany for sending me this review unit, and right off the bat, I love the design of this phone. Maybe I'm a little biased because this cyan green color resembles the peacock color a bit, but I think most people would agree that this phone looks great. It also comes in two other colors, a charcoal and an ice color, but this is definitely my favorite. On the front, it has a pretty decent size 6.3-inch LCD, unfortunately not OLED, but with that being said, it's definitely sharp with a full HD resolution, and the colors look good as well. And it has HDR10 support along with good viewing angles and with minimal color shifting off axis, so consuming content is a pleasure nevertheless. The Nokia 7.2 is really well built too, and I love the frosted matte glass on the back. This is a lower mid-range phone, but with the build quality of a flagship. It has a nice weight to it and feels good in the hand. On the right side of the phone, you have the power button and the volume rocker. And on the left side, there's a dedicated Google Assistant button that I personally like to quickly access the Google Assistant. On the bottom, you got a USB-C charging port, speaker, and a microphone. On the top, there's another microphone and a headphone jack. There are no stereo speakers, but the bottom firing speaker gets really loud. On the back side, there's a fingerprint scanner, so there's no in-screen scanner like on some of the competitors, but definitely reliable. And now onto this phone's highlight on the back of the phone, and that's definitely the 3-camera setup with Zeiss optics. There is a small camera bump, but it should disappear if you put a case on it. Oh, and before I forget, on the front you get a 20 megapixel selfie camera that produces pretty good 5 megapixel photos. I'm not a selfie person, but if you are, yeah, then you probably will enjoy it. You can also take pics with the full 20 megapixels if you want to. On the back, there's a 48 megapixel sensor that does a great job in most lighting conditions and captures a lot of detail. It produces 12 megapixel shots in the standard mode, but you can also shoot at the full 48 megapixel resolution if you want. There's also a 5 megapixel lens for sensing depth to help with portrait shots. Lastly, there's an 8 megapixel ultra wide lens, and unfortunately, it's not all that great. Photos lack in detail and the shots come out soft and the colors aren't the best. It's still nice to have, especially at this price point, but I would recommend shooting with the great main lens and leave this one alone. Oh, and side note, for some reason the camera app always kept crashing on me, mostly when I used the shortcut of the double clicking the power button. Maybe Nokia can fix this in an update, but I'm not sure. It's just something I wanted to mention. Here are some more samples from the camera. The Nokia 7.2 can also record 4K at 30 FPS, and the quality is pretty decent. One thing that most people seem to be concerned about is the fact that the Nokia 7.2 comes with an older Qualcomm Snapdragon 660 processor, but I have to say the performance is pretty great. Everything performs as expected at this price point, and you can get the 7.2 with 4 or 6 gigabytes of RAM, 64 or 120 gigabytes of storage. Multitasking, opening up apps, scrolling through everything is pretty snappy. It's not the best phone for gaming, although normal games run pretty smoothly, like Subway Surfers for example. And for everything else, it's more than adequate. This could come down to the fact that Nokia committed to the Android One platform, which is pretty much stock Android, and with no extra bloatware or duplicate apps, the OS doesn't need that much processing power. And I love that Nokia decided to go this way. It reminds me of the good old days of the Google Play Edition phones like from Samsung and HTC. This means you get monthly security patches and Android updates regularly, at least for 2 years. And for me, this makes the Nokia 7.2 more attractive than some of its competitors with just slightly better hardware. The battery performance is also good enough to get you through a day with the 3500 milliamp battery built in. If you use the camera a lot, you might need to charge by the end of the day, but with my mixed usage, I didn't have to recharge before bedtime. There isn't any fast charging, unfortunately. The 7.2 supports 10-watt charging. So my overall experience with the Nokia 7.2 has been pretty good. It's a great design and the build quality is great. The camera is great, the software is great. I mean, what else do you want or what else do you need? So I can definitely recommend this phone, but I do have to mention that it's been out for a while, since last September, so a new version might be coming out pretty soon, but this is on sale right now for around 230 euros currently in Germany, so it's a pretty good deal if you ask me. So thanks for watching my video. If you liked it, please subscribe and hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you soon in the next video.